let's start with this game. As I said before, it was a really long game, and it wasn't that there were some big mistakes in this game, but in general, yeah, a few mistakes were made, but they were a bit more subtle, so we will try to go through all of this. And this move is already a bit unusual. Usually we approach the 3-4 point komoku from the other side because it is open from the other side. And here there is a lot of empty space on the top side, so it's completely fine to play like this. Usually black also aims at that point, so maybe black can even play it right after the corner approach, and then build a formation. Why is M17 point interesting? Well, in general, here we have a 4th line stone, and it is a general principle that a 4th line stone has a weak point here, like a knight's move from that stone. If white doesn't answer to that, there is some there are some possibilities. For example, this slide, or even more aggressive cut like that. So it's completely fine to approach from the top side, but the move from the game is also not bad. However, white is rather comfortable with taking the 4th line territory. Then black jumped, and after black jumps, what should white do? Well, it would be nice to answer to this move, because if white doesn't answer, then the next move of black somehow stops white from building a nice formation. Yet it is also possible to play the tenuki, which I just showed, or some other tenuki, because the corner is already safe. So it is not like now that there is this big risk that black will attack the corner very severely. So it is also possible to play elsewhere. However, if white plays on the top side, then what would be your choice? If you have microphones, you can unmute them now and tell me what is your intuition in this shape, how to play on the...
I would like to play black d9 on the left side.
On the left side, d9 as white.
As black, I thought you are asking for black.
Yeah. But my question was, after black jumped here, how would white answer on the top side?
Well, I guess I know what I played, so I think it didn't turn out as I hoped, so I should have played A instead.
So in the game, white went to the 5th line, and this move is fine, but it is a little bit greedy. It tries to take a very big territory, a 5th line territory, and maybe there is a hope that black will continue to push, and then white will be very, very happy taking such a big territory. However, black doesn't need to push, and in general it is not a good idea to push from behind, so black plays elsewhere. Black just extends, just as it was said, d9, it is a nice extension. And after that, the top side is not a safe territory. It is completely open. If black goes there, it's not possible for white to kill such a stone. There is a lot of space for black to build a shape. Black can approach like this, approach a bit further. In the game, black approached even further, but still there was a lot of space to create a base. So a normal choice in such a situation would be to keep going on the 4th line, and my recommendation would be to go for a 2-space jump. Why a 2-space jump? So here we are a bit scared to play a 2-space jump before, like right after black approached on d14, because then maybe we are scared that there are some bad edges in the corner, there are some weaknesses. However, now the corner is already a bit safe, and it is not easy for black to break through. And then a 2-space extension is justified. The general rule is that when you jump towards the center, you jump with a one space jump. However, if you extend on the side, you can go for a two space extension, and it's safe. And here it is also safe, even though there are black stones nearby. So this would really be my recommendation. And also white is happy taking this point. So there is no need to strive for more. Why is white happy? There is a saying that a fourth line is the line of victory. So if you go on the third line, then this is a line of equilibrium. The influence of your opponent is as valuable as your territory. However, if you go on the fourth line, then your territory is usually considered a bit more valuable. So this fifth line was a bit too much. Black extends on the side, which makes a lot of sense, and white pushed, and then black extended. I think black can already go for an invasion, because anyway this one stone is not in such a trouble. Black can easily connect to his other stones. However, black
also be a good time to, if I can ask, also be a good time for black to play at R9 because the
R9, yeah. This makes a lot of sense because the right side is very wide. In fact, what you propose might be better than my suggestion, since the general rule in the opening is to play on the widest side. And now we can see that already the left side is not really wide. There are just four empty intersections. The lower side is very, very wide. There are as many as 11 empty intersections. And then there is also this right side, which has 8 empty intersections, and the top side has 6 of them. So the widest side is the lower side. However, the right side is also a bit important of a different reason. The reason is that there is a group of black which can get under attack if white plays there first. So it makes a lot of sense to extend on the right side, and this is one option, but there are many options. You don't need to restrict your thinking to this move, which is considered the most normal Joseki, as you already have a stone on this side, so maybe you can think of some other way. Personally, I would choose Shimari, which also helps a lot that shape in the upper right corner, and also it takes care of on the lower right corner. All of these moves were probably bigger than what was played in the game. And then as it was mentioned before, white can start an attack. If black tries to jump towards the center, then white is happy because naturally the top side becomes white's territory. So this is a very good strategic choice. However, white chose to approach, and then black is rather happy because his stones on the right side help each other. Then black goes for the invasion, makes sense. This was played. This is also a Joseki. Also makes sense. Yeah, white has a privilege to build himself a formation on the right side. Now black is really happy that already he has a strong formation waiting here, and then also black adds a bit strength to his other group. Okay, and then black takes care of that topside invasion. In general, black has a bit of a weak group here. White has also a group which is a bit weak, also on the right side. And then it's good that black finds time to make himself a base on the top side, so that he has only one weak group and not two weak groups. Okay. Yeah, so now black managed to build a base, and what I would do now would be to go back to this group, build a shape, and this is very, very important because black's group was not really strong, and also white's group is not too strong. If white plays elsewhere, then black can even destroy the base of white's group on the right side. So this move is very valuable and very urgent, as there are two weak groups on the right side. In the game, black was a bit too hasty, I would say, because black went for this cut. Okay, black cuts white stones, but if these stones will eventually live, there is a risk that these cutting stones will eventually become dame. And also there is a problem, because with this move at f16, black loses a liberty, and this liberty of the three stones might be important. Let's say white takes care of the three stones and then tries to look for a way to annoy black. For example, like this, white can capture the three stones, and if black goes down, then still it's a bit risky. How is it? Okay, here black can manage to live, so it's not obvious. However, usually it's not good to erase your own liberty, and I believe that cutting white stones was not worth this price of deleting one's own liberty. Okay, this was a very big move, this what white played, and as black answered, it can be considered a success of white. However, maybe it was better for black to not answer, because look, here on the left side, it is just about points. There are basically no weak groups. This is like endgame, this move at c13 and c12. However, on the top side, there is this group of black which is not completely safe. Then there are these three stones which can be swallowed on a big scale if black managed to add a few moves to this situation. And then also there are these weak groups on the right side. So there are many groups which are not completely settled. And usually in the middle game, you should first play moves which are somehow related to the weak groups and to the running fights which are happening, and only then go back to the to moves which are just about making points. Here black is blocking white's expansion on the left side. However, this is just about points. So this should be left for an endgame, in fact. And
so would you say that also b40 itself was not in good timing?
This question is a bit harder. So according to the logic which I just explained, it can be considered a bit slow, because there is a fight going on the top and also on the right side, and probably if I play, I would choose to go here or at g15. However, we can see that black can play this kick at c15, and probably white needs to answer. And this is already quite a gain in terms of territory for black, and also in terms of the strength of this group. So this is really big, and then black goes back to the fight. Well, it is about points, but black can get it in center, so I can understand that white chose to get this big point. And if black answers, then it is certainly a big success, because white gained a lot in center. But the proper move of black would be to play elsewhere. And then probably you are right that b14 can also be considered a bit too slow, or not in the correct area of the board. Yeah. So the game went on, and then you can see how important this move at k15 is. White has two groups, and with this move, White is trying to connect them, and probably White will manage to connect the line, and then White will seal Black on the top side. This is very valuable, especially that there is this Black group on the right side, which can be attacked afterwards. Then Black make himself a base, and my choice for White would be to continue from the top to seal Black, and then this influence White gets is really threatening Black's group on the right side. White chose to look for some agi in Black's shape. The idea is not bad. If we can find a way to cut Black stones, then we can gain a lot. For example, maybe we will manage to kill the 3 stones, and this will be super cool because it will save our group. However, in the game it didn't really work well because White only played a few stones from the outside, but then Black secured his shape on the side, and in general these exchanges were good for Black. For example, White lost some opportunities by playing this. For example, there is maybe some combination like this, or maybe there was another combination which White missed, I am not sure. For example, this cut. It's also good to consider a cut in such a situation because maybe we will manage to cut one of these groups, either the N17 stone or the stones at G17. Good to think about such stuff, but in general I think that White doesn't really need to do anything crazy. White should just seal Black, and then White is happy as White connected all of his stones, and then White got an influence which will help him in the fight on the right side. Yeah. So this is considered good for Black. And then White played a cut. This looks a bit crazy. However, Black cannot capture this stone in a ladder. Probably what Black should do is to prepare this ladder with a move like this. Let's see what happened in the game. This preparation. Usually if you want to prepare for the ladder, you try to find as severe move as possible. So here, if White secures his stone, then Black is very happy to seal White's corner and connect his stones on the outside. And then if White decides to cut Black stones, then the one stone is captured in a ladder, and then Black is rather comfortable with the upcoming fight. In the game it was not as neat, but still Black managed to connect his stones and seal White in. However, White got something on the outside, and then White goes for a moyo. This makes a lot of sense. I like the strategy which White chose. And then for sure Black needs to reduce the moyo. How to do it?
Isn't the bottom right corner getting a bit unsure?
This question, I see, this question is relevant. So if we start from reducing the moyo from the left side, let's say, White can try to go for this attack, and probably for most of us the most natural response would be to just block. However, then there is this annoying Tesuji. If Black just connects his stones, suddenly Black has no base and maybe Black will die. It seems probable. So when White pushes at R2, Black has to find some other measures. My recommendation would be to play this move. It threatens that Black will connect on the right side to his other stones. And if White blocks, then maybe we can already go for this, but maybe not. It needs to be read very, very carefully. And if it's not possible to block at S2, then still Black can go for something else, for example, R8. Well, it's true that white gains a lot with this attack. However, I feel that black will not have a trouble to make life. And if black lives comfortably, then probably black doesn't need to add a move to this group, as there is another... Oh, sorry, I went too much ahead in the game. As there is this big Moyo being encircled on the bottom side. Okay, before all of that happened, black played 2 Sente moves. I am not 100% sure if this move is Sente, but for sure black can try to do something, at least a call, but maybe white dies even unconditionally. This is a very annoying shape. Maybe white can try this move now. Not sure. This is a difficult Tsumega, and white answered, which is very understandable. And then black, I see that probably black starts from such moves to simultaneously reduce white's potential and add some strength to his lower right group. However, this is not really a correct strategy. As I said, if black lives comfortably, then black should start from reducing the Moyo, and probably a shoulder hit is a good way to reduce a Moyo. If you don't like the shoulder hit, you can go a bit closer to your own formation on the left side, or if you are really scared, then you can also go from the top. However, then white gets a lot. And if you are scared for the corner, then probably it is an honest way to just add a move. It is a big endgame move. It makes your corner completely solid, and also it doesn't spoil the agi, the weaknesses in white's shape over here. Later on, black can count on some agi in this area. However, when black starts from this move, black makes white secure a bit his shape. So probably it would not be my choice. However, here still black manages to find a cut. Okay, not bad.
This is Geza. Can I ask a question? So it's black here. So it's quite clear that my B7 was a misguided move. But I do have a question about reducing a Moyo. What is the reason why one? So this was going to be a huge one, right? Before we started this fight on line O. But so what? And you said either a shoulder hit on K4 or something like H4. What makes this better than going into the very middle of the whole thing, far away from everything? So, something like L8 or K8.
Okay. Good question. In general, I can think of 2 reasons. First of all, we are much more concerned about what is happening next to the side, so in this area, than about what is happening in the center, which is to say in that area, which I mark with circles. In general, there are much more points next to the side than in the center. Then it appears, then it seems. One reason for that is that it is just much easier to get a lot of points next to the side, because you just need to make a border from the top of it and from both sides, let's say. But in the center, you need to make 4 walls to get points. So this is one reason, and then there is also another reason. I will delete the marks which I just made, and then white has a very thick shape on the right side of this Moyo. However, the two stones of f4 and f3 are not really thick. They may seem very strong. However, black also has a formation right next to them, and if these stones ever get cut, then they will not have a base. So by playing this move at h4, the primary goal of this move is to reduce, of course, but also there is this other aim, which is to attack the two stones of white. It means that it is much more difficult for white to deal with this invasion than to deal with such an invasion at L6, or you proposed L8. With this L8, white just goes from whatever side white wants, and white can attack the stone comfortably. However, when black plays here, white needs to take a lot of care. For example, if white starts an attack from that side, then his two stones are really damaged. And if white starts an attack from this side, then still the two stones have no base. And black is building himself a formation. And there is also one more reason, which is kind of connected to what I just said, that on the right side white is thick and the two stones are not that thick. The general principle is that we try to play far away from the thickness. So by playing here, black still keeps himself a lot of space available to make a shape, let's say with a move of this sort. However, if we go like this and we go next to the thickness, and then white attacks us from the other side, then we don't have too much space to make ourselves a formation, and then by attacking, white can also swallow a big portion of territory on the lower side.
Yes, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good. So yeah, I think this was a very interesting strategic discussion. Here, I mean, p7, I was a bit doubtful about this move because it helps white make white stronger. However, white cannot play with this schema because then white's shape will be cut, and after white played here, his shape still can be cut, just as in the game, which makes the p7 move reasonable. So I am sorry that I criticized it that much. And then after, there is a weakness left in white's shape, and then I can understand the move at L5. My first instinct for white is just to play here, because then white secures his stones both at F4 and L3 and builds points with these stones. It is very good to build points with your weak stones. This is basically your dream in Go. It's not your dream to build points with living stones. It's not interesting. However, build points with weak stones is very, very good. After black jumps, again, white should play from this side. But white really wanted to attack black stones. I am afraid black has a bit too much space. Well, this move is not correct. Oh, I am sorry. This move of black should be at k3. This is really a very urgent place on the board. Urgent area. Black cuts white stones, deletes white's territory, and builds himself a base. And this move was played from the strong stones, and also it is like making points from your living stones, so not a dream of a Go player. This gives white time to attack the two stones more severely, and then I think if white manages the attack well, black can be in a lot of trouble. However, probably it was a mistake that white played this peep, and white didn't expect that black can just ignore it. This was a very good choice of black. Black ignored, built himself a base on the lower side, and at this point the game starts to look good for black. White still tries to seal black in, but then the only what white can do is threaten these three stones. And this is a really important moment of the game. Already we discussed the game for half an hour, but as I said, this is the longest game of of yesterday, and I think there is the most to be said about this game. So here, white attacks the 3 stones, but look at what is happening on the lower side. The 3 stones are almost dead. There are still some weak points in black's shape, but now black can take care of them. For example, go here or go here, and then black gets really a lot on the lower side. And as we remember, the lower side was supposed to be white's big formation, white's moyo, white's big territory. And here it becomes black's territory. If such a swap happens in the game, black doesn't need anything more to win the game. This is exactly the point when you should count points. You should count the score, and if you see that just by playing a safe move on the lower side, you win the game, then you don't need to save your 3 stones. It's just not needed.
Yes, this is Geza, and this is perfectly correct what you're saying, assuming you don't play like a 25k later on, which I did. So
yeah, so in the game a bit of a surprise happened because this cut came, and now if black tries to take the stone, there is this annoying thing. So black can connect, but then white manages to cut off the 3 stones, and still probably black needs to add a move. Okay, maybe good to add like first play this asking move, but then still white is safe, and what white got is much bigger than what black got by saving the 3 stones. I know that it's not maybe that that you thought that okay, the 3 stones are bigger. It is probably more about a misread that or that you just didn't see this nice combination of white, which was well prepared. So this was a tesuji of white. However, in general, it is good to know when to calm down and when you gained enough to win the game, and you just don't need to do anything more than secure your score. And in this situation, I believe black can, if black counts points and black plays this move, it is a game over. This, what happened, gave white a new chance. Black got 4 stones, but white's gain on the lower side was bigger. And then white still tries to fight. Probably still the overall result of this fight on the lower side is good for black. However, white is not finished yet, and by playing a good endgame, white can win the game. And this is what happened. In the end, white won the game by 3.5. Yeah, so this is just an endgame happening. I am not sure if there is a lot of wise stuff which can be said about it. Just a general principle in the endgame. In the endgame, there are more points on the side than it seems. For example, here, this move of black is in the center. It is for sure smaller than playing this Hane Connect on the lower side, which, by the way, has probably a continuation which can be very annoying for white. So, presumably, the game is still fine for black at this point, but after black plays such a move and white gets the side moves, white gets the advantage. Yeah, and in the end, white managed to win the game by 3.5. This is what I had to say, and if there are any questions, then please ask.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Education.